was like, ooh, it's the Harlem Globetrotters on Scooby-Doo. That's so freaking cool. It would have been time if they did like a Judge Judy episode where Judge Judy,
Scooby-Doo and Guess Who looks very, very much like the original.
Scooby-Doo and Guess Who is nostalgic.
Scooby-Doo and Guess Who may or may not be a Scooby snack.
Right. You'll find out a little later, everybody, on Falling Towers. Watch the first podcast, the podcast in which we watch the first episode of a series so that you don't have to. Today we are doing... Oh, so sorry, Muhammad. Yes. You still can, everybody. Today, of course, we are doing Scooby-Doo and Guess Who, which was found on Tubi. Very special guest today. He wants to be called not just actor, not just producer or writer or director. He wants to be called Jive Turkey. It's Desmond Heck, everybody.
What's going on?
Also here, of course, special co-host, superstar, all the way from Duke University. He actually battled Desmond out to be called Jive Turkey. Also Jive Turkey, Dr. Muhammad Noor.
I think I lost that battle, but always a pleasure to be on Falling Towers. Watch the first of things.
And my name is Ryan T. Husk, everybody. There will be plenty of Jive Turkey jokes peppered throughout this entire episode, unless we forget.
Yeah, true.
Okay, so everybody, please make sure you like this video, subscribe to the channel, give us a 5-star rating if you're listening in, and a nice review. We'd really appreciate that. In the comments below, make your suggestions of what you'd like us to review next, and we will review it. Maybe. Also, let us know where we can find it. So, for example, you would say WTF, that means watch the first. WTF, Scooby-Doo, and Guess Who on Tubi. Great. Now that the homework's out of the way, it's time to have some fun because it is Cartoon Spin-Offs Month. So let's get into it. Dr. Noor, I've done all our chores to start this show off. Where do we go from here?
It's Ryan's favorite part of the show coming up now. This is what we like to call predictaments. What we predict, what we predict what each other thought about this show without giving away what we thought ourselves. So,
tricky, but it is.
Do the same.
It is my favorite part of the show. That's true. That's why I sped through all that stuff. So, Muhammad, we've known each other for a few years pretty well. Desmond, you and I have known each other. Good grief. I feel like it's over 10 years. I don't know how long it's been, but.
Yeah.
Wow. It's actually been over 15 years.
Yeah, man.
Man alive. You were just a toddler. Oh, you were just a babe.
A toddler.
Battlestar Galactica was still on TV when you guys met.
Muhammad and Desmond, you just met fairly recently, maybe a year or so ago. So it's going to be a little tougher for y'all, but I feel pretty confident. Muhammad, I'm going to predict that you liked this show. You weren't over the moon about it. You didn't call your family and say, hey, you got to watch the Do with me.
I definitely did not do that.
But you also said it was nostalgic, which tells me you watched the original show. And if you watched it enough, that means you liked it enough. And this was good enough. I think you're going to be right around the 6 or 7. Desmond, I think you also watched the original. Somewhat. And I think that you thought this was good enough as well. It's funny. I think you guys are going to have similar feelings on this. You're going to say it was good enough. It was fun. I liked the original. This reminded me of the original. It was very similar to it. I'm going to give it a decent mark. Those are my predictions. What do you think, Muhammad?
So for Desmond, you made a reference to Scooby Snacks. I don't remember if they actually said the word Scooby Snacks in the show. So I'm going to assume that you did actually watch the original, as Ryan said. And there probably some fond memories. I mean, that was a pretty detailed thing to have in there. Right. Mine's more mysterious.
Oh, yes. This is my mysterious.
I'm sure you watched the original. That I'm very confident of. I mean, maybe not regularly, but I'm sure you've at least seen the original and are very aware of it. Now, what you thought of this one? I mean, again, you mentioned it was very similar to the original one, but you may have actually kind of hated it. So I still think let me use your wording back for you. I think the good enough aspect that yeah, for a kid show, I guess it's not completely dumb like some kid shows. So I think you'll be like, yeah, it's okay. So above a 5, but not like high above a 5. So pass the baton to Desmond.
Okay, Muhammad, I think you love the show. I just seem like someone who liked the original Scooby-Doo. I'm getting a shaggy vibes from you. Like, I'm just kidding. So maybe,
What?
Ryan, Ryan, I know you're the Simon Cowell of the show, so I'm thinking you may have been a little bit more critical on it. Like, so I think you
Mm,
watched the original show, but I'm thinking you're probably like, I thought it was um 1 point below okay. So I think you're probably gonna give it like a 4 or 5.
Interesting. I forgot I have to be the Simon Cowell of everything. Got to be a little sterner.
or the Wes Bentley, but
yeah, and more accenty is what I got to do. All right. So those are our predictions, everybody. This is going to be a fun one. I'm already excited for it. Everybody make your predictions at home, either in the live chat right now or in the comments below. Do you think Ryan with the pink background liked it? Do you think Dr. Muhammad Noor liked or loved it? Do you think Desmond thought it was, hey, good enough, whatever? Let us know your predictions, or you could go completely off the map. These could have been helpful hints, maybe not. Make your predictions now. No rush. Take your time. Dr. Muhammad Noor is going to buy us some time by telling us what this show is even about. Zoinks.
a little rush. Can't go for like 30 minutes.
Nice.
A little rush. So, basketball legend Chris Paul. I didn't know I was going to start that way. Basketball legend Chris Paul and others are having a golf tournament to save an art school, but a swamp monster is kidnapping the golfers. Chris calls in Shaggy and his team to come investigate. Amidst erupting sinkholes and underground aquifers, a swamp monster continues to kidnap more of the golfers. And if there's no winner, then the art school won't get the funds it needs. Despite some craziness with squirrels and other antics, the team investigate clues and finally lay a trap that catches the swamp monster. They learn that it's really a caddy who wanted to buy the art school land cheap and develop it. And he would have gotten away if it wasn't for those meddling kids, as well as Chris Paul.
Excellent. Excellent. If those were 2 words, it would be X. Never mind. Let's move on. All right. That's very good. So everybody, you still got a little bit more time, but you're almost out of time to make your predictions because Dr. Noor knows exactly what time it is for us.
This is my favorite part of the show. This is the part we like to call Expectation, where we spend a little bit of time on what you expected before watching the show, and a lot more time on what you actually get as you do watch the show. Or as Ryan says, far more eloquently, we like to compare and contrast what we expected before watching the show with what we actually got.
Right. Right you are, friend for life. All right. So here it comes. Desmond, you're definitely a friend for life too. We've proven anything, it's that if we've been friends for whatever it's been, 16, 17, 18 years, we're stuck with each other.
Right? Yeah. Like ebony and ivory, man.
At this point, we're going to be racing our walkers together and our Texas Rangers. It's going to be a lot of fun. I can't wait.
Maybe
all right, Paula.
Scooby-Doo and the Guess Who Part 87 in 2060. Have that review coming up on Watch the First.
When you said Simon Cowell, I was thinking, okay, so I guess Muhammad has to be the Paula and you can be the dog. But then I realized you're a huge Paula fan. Yeah. You've got to be the Paula, right?
I think I would be. I probably would be the Paula Abdul of the
Absolutely. And when we said everybody take your time, Desmond would be like, rush. Right?
Straight up.
Yeah, that's a Paula song. That's 2 of them. All right, here we go. Moving on. I remember where we are now. Okay. Muhammad already told us. All right, what we expected versus what we got. Dr. Noor, before you watched this first episode of Scooby-Doo and Guess Whom, what did you expect, if anything?
you all were correct. I did watch the original 70s, 60s, whatever cartoon it was. I mean, I watched it in the 70s, but I don't know when it released. But yeah, I mean, I watched that show a lot and started hating it when Scrappy Doo came in.
Okay,
As did many
Scrappy
other
too.
people there. But yeah, it was never like my favorite cartoon, but it was something I would watch, and so it definitely has some nostalgia to me in general. For this particular show, the Scooby-Doo and Guess Who, like I had no idea what the Guess Who part was, which we can get back into that one day, the Getchin part of the show. But I had no idea what that meant. I just assumed this was essentially like a new reboot of Scooby-Doo. I assumed it would be more modernized in some way, maybe like fancy 3D sorts of animation, maybe like more modern themes. I mean, I know a lot of modern Scooby-Doos have Velma being gay, for example, and stuff like that. I thought it might be some stuff kind of like that, but I didn't know anything specifically about this one. I just assumed it was some modern take on the original Scooby-Doo cartoon, but specifics I was not sure. But again, the usual mystery, trying to figure out who's the person who we've already seen, who's probably the person pretending to be a monster.
Now, Desmond Heck, what did you expect before watching this show, if anything?
Okay, yeah. So I mean, like Muhammad, I was a childhood fan of Scooby Doo, even the Scrappy Doo. I liked him too. But yeah. So when I saw just the graphics, I thought it was going to be similar to the original one, just because the cartoons were similar to the original one. So I was expecting to have a lot of the original Scooby Doo tropes. Is that the right word? Tropes that they had in the original show, and I was thinking it was going to be the typical, we're going to stick to the mystery of someone who's like pretending to be someone ghouly or scary, and they find out that it's like an actual human being, just like pretending to be someone ghouly or scary, and he'd have the typical, and I'd get away with it if it wasn't for you pesky, I was waiting for that. I was like, they better put that in the show too, and yeah. I didn't think it was going to be that different than the original show. Like I know a lot of the modern ones that they do like veer, or they don't veer off, but they kind of make it more modern than it was back in the 70s and the 80s. But yeah.
All right. Interesting. Well, I'll tell all of y'all what I expected, if anything. Look, I hated Scooby-Doo as a kid. I know. I hated it. I hated Scooby-Doo. I saw that there was a Scrappy-Doo guy that seemed even more obnoxious. I remember watching that for a second going like, this guy's even worse. I hated SpongeBob SquareButt. Like, I think those were the two
On sequitur, but
cartoons.
appropriate.
Yeah,
SpongeBob SquareButt.
Those were like the two shows. But Scooby-Doo, I was like, why do my friends watch this show? First of all, it looked old and dumb. Secondly, like it was always the same thing, right? It was always just a guy. It wasn't actually real monsters. I'm like, I want to watch He-Man with real monsters and rah. They don't go like Skeletor. Wait a minute, it's old Jim from next door. And he's like, He-Man.
And I would have got away with it.
But I didn't like the show. It was, I liked sci-fi and fantasy and monsters and battles. And this just kind of seemed, I don't know, it didn't do it for me. But a lot of my friends, they loved the show. Anyway, so whatever. So what I expected was a modernized version of a show that I did not like.
Oh,
So I wasn't too excited about it, but I was like, hey, it's going to be like 22 minutes. You'll live, Ryan. You'll live. Watch it on a Saturday morning. Pretend it's a treat.
A Scooby snack.
Exactly.
And wear the ascot like Fred.
Yep. Sorry, I didn't mean to be so cold-hearted about it. Another Paula Abdul song. Everybody that knows Paula Abdul songs knows that we're going to be peppering those in as well. Desmond's going to kill me in this game. That's for sure. He's Paula really Abdul. Good in this game. Okay. That's what we expected. Pencils down, everybody. It's time to find out what we actually got. What did you say, Muhammad?
I said clipboards up.
Yes.
Oh.
What did y'all think I
said? Dr. Nora, what did you actually get?
It was very much like essentially just the 70s cartoon back, though slightly tongue-in-cheek every now and then, some little bits of tongue-in-cheek, which I like those aspects to it. The Guess Who part was interesting. So apparently the theme for this overall Guess Who part is that every episode, I watched after this one because I was wondering what the whole Chris Paul story is. Do you guys know Chris Paul? I've never even heard of this person.
I know Chris Paul very well. More on that in a moment. I mean, look, he's a basketball player. Of course I do.
Yeah, fair. I didn't know who that was, but I was wondering, like, so like Chris Paul's in this one. So does everyone have something? So I looked it up, and apparently there's somebody in every show. So this reminds me, though, in the '80s, I don't know if you guys remember, in the '80s, whenever
Harley
there was a
Goldberg.
show and it was starting to die, that was what they'd always do. So it's
Okay,
like the last season of A Team, all of a sudden Hulk Hogan shows up, and like these random people would show up. Like, okay,
yeah.
so it's about to. They're trying to pump up the ratings. It's a gimmick, but it's something different. Um, it definitely was something that was reminiscent of the original in every respect. I like the silliness. I like, for example, the very beginning where they said, "Oh no, the bee man of Alcatraz is
Yeah.
actually Bob the beekeeper." Didn't see that coming. So the tongue-in-cheek aspects I thought were pretty funny. I mean, it was mostly a simple plot. There's a little bit more of the sort of standard physical comedy kind of thing with, Scooby chasing around the squirrel and stuff, which I was kind of like, I mean, I guess if I was four, I'd find that kind of funny, but right now it's like, all right, come on. Let's move the plot along. Um, yeah, I mean, the silliness level was a little high. I mean, again, if going back in the '70s when I was under 10, like, yeah, I probably would really enjoy this. Right now, less so. I mean, it's a little bit, for as long as we watched it, it was fine. One thing which really got me is they never actually said what happened to the golfers. Like, was this caddy like killing them?
Oh
Or like,
yeah.
where did they
Yes.
go? Like,
Maybe they
what
got
happened?
knocked out.
Yeah, for
You're
some
winning.
indefinitely long period of time, and we never saw them again. Like, what? So that was a weird, never resolved piece. Like, what? So anyway, I'll pause there so we have no time to chat. But
See, Mohammed,
yeah, it was okay.
that was another Paul Abdul
Oh,
song.
Abdul, yeah.
Sorry. I
Oh,
should have
God.
done it during the Expectations
That
thing.
was
I'm really slipping
yeah.
there. What did you actually get, Mr. Desmond Heck, comma, JT?
Okay. Should I go through my notes now? Is that
Just a
Overview.
brief overall
okay.
summary of what you got. I think, like what Mohammed did, he's pretty good about that. He brings up his clipboard and all that. It's pretty good.
Yeah, no, I thought I was kind of excited because they did stick to the original one a lot. I liked that the characters look like the original ones. A lot of the jokes were funny. They even made fun of the original one with "I would have gotten away with it" line. They added that like twice in the episode, which I thought was really cool. Um, the Chris Paul celebrity guest thing. I remember like when I was a kid, like they had the Harlem Globetrotters. It was like
Yeah.
I was like, ooh, it's the Harlem Globetrotters on Scooby Doo. That's so freaking cool. It would have been time if they did like a Judge Judy episode where Judge Judy, like shows up on an episode, or they should do that actually. That would be
And they do.
kind of tight. Yeah, what else did I say? That was funny when. Oh yeah, it was funny when Scooby Doo was doing the he was doing the announcer for the golf, and then the swamp monsters are like coming out. He's like, "Oh, and here comes the swamp monster too." That was pretty funny. And let's see. Oh, like when they were trying to hide from the swamp monster, and they were trying not to move, so
Mhm.
that the swamp monster. Like I always I held my breath, and I always hold my breath and don't move, like in parts like that, to see if I can like freeze for the same amount of time. Is yeah, but no, I thought it was fun. I thought it was yeah, I liked it. I thought it was pretty cool how kept they kept up with the original episode. They didn't try to switch it too much because I kind of hate that. With I don't know, like Sheer, they completely changed it to a completely different looking animation and looks nothing like the original one. I was like, ah.
Mhm. All right. Good stuff there, Desmond Heck. All right, time for me to tear this thing apart. So, look, there are a lot of things that were terrible about this. For example, every time they would just cut away to Scooby playing with squirrels, had nothing to do with the plot, didn't move the plot forward, completely irrelevant. He could have been eating pie or, writing a book. Like it has no place at all in the episode. Maybe that's how the original was, but they just dropped in complete nonsensical stuff in there. But there were some things that were actually really good, I thought. And the first of which, this isn't necessarily good. This is completely subjective, in my opinion, which is redundant, I think. Right? Was that they kept the characters and the artistry looking exactly the same, like 1969 or whatever it was. Like even the backgrounds, everything, like exactly the same. Not a modernized version, not now they look like super like 9 feet tall and super long and like like animation changes obviously over time, and they want to stylize it and change things. And I don't like it when animation styles like make humans look not human, like where they're just like super weird and long and, or giant chested or something like that. But this was exactly the same. So I actually liked that. I was like, this is great. It's charming. It's like, it's basically just continuing the original. And the Scooby-Doo and Guess Who, I just assumed that meant they would have some kind of guest star or something. And I was very pleased to see it was Chris Paul, who is something like a 19-year veteran of the NBA. Of course, at the time, he was only 16-year. I think he was still on the Houston Rockets at that time, and a big, big enemy of my fan base with the Golden State Warriors. We hated him on the Rockets and on the Clippers, and I can go on. But now this year, as fate would have it, he has been traded to the Golden State Warriors in his twilight years at the ripe old age of 39, right before retirement, or maybe 38. And we're like, well, I guess he's not that bad now that he's on our team. So I was happy to see him. A few years ago when this came out, I would not have been. I'd be like, fuck this show. Anyway, lots to talk about there. Starting with, you guys, did you laugh at because I only got one minor chuckle, and that was, I think it was when when somebody said "run for our lives," and he's like, CP3, that's his nickname, CP3, because he's number 3. Chris Paul goes, "Oh, well, I got to finish this game," and he says, "Golf for our lives." It's like, okay, that was,
I remember that one.
My minor chuckle. What do you guys have? That's all I got.
I had a few.
I had a few, yeah. I like the oh, go ahead. You go first.
Oh, okay. Well, the Bob the Beekeeper one I mentioned already.
Yeah.
The way they first introduced him was like, and look, there's basketball legend Chris Paul. I was like, why would you introduce him? You just say it's Chris Paul. But I was like, no, the basketball legend part I thought was a little funny. Oh, the other golfers, and I'm trying to figure out who it was, and I was like, that guy's like an angry child hater, blah blah blah. I thought that was a little funny. Some of the specific crazy things each of those potential people were. Each one of them, somebody said land developer. Oh, it's going to be him. The guesses on those things were fun, but it was mostly in the first half. I didn't have any ha's in the second half. I had a few like the outdoor bowling thing. That was kind of just odd.
I was like, I love that idea. But then I started thinking, okay, what you have to have is like a retractable roof, right? Because then, when it rains, it's going to ruin the. But then, but bowling. Imagine bowling outside. You have some beer and some friends. It's a beautiful day outside, and you're just bowling out there.
I'd do that, yeah.
There is lawn bowling that exists.
Is there? Okay.
Oh, okay, yeah, you're right. Any ha-ha moments for you, Mr. Heck?
Yeah. The beekeeper at the beginning was funny. What else I said? It was fun. The commodity routine, that's was a good thing. Oh, Shaggy with the munchies is always funny. Always has like a laugh out of that. I thought it was funny that it was the caddy, like when they at the end, like after they, I thought it was funny that was that little caddy guy. And I was like, how is he such a good swimmer? But then they explained how he was such a good swimmer at the end, which is pretty cool. And then there was one part where the swamp monster just like, there was like some woman on the golf course just hanging out, and the swamp monster just like snatched her. It's like, why are they just showing that? It was just like, it was really weird, yeah. Let me think what else is oh yeah, just like when the I think I already said it. Yeah, when Scooby-Doo was announcing the golf game and then the swamp monster showed up. Yeah, I thought that was funny.
Yeah.
I didn't know that. Oh yeah, I was thinking I didn't know that Shaggy's last name was Rogers when he referred to him as Mr. Rogers. I was like, oh what?
Yeah, I didn't know that either.
Rogers?
Is that a first, Mohammed?
I didn't remember it. I mean,
I googled it. Apparently that's his name. It's like his name is Norville Shaggy Rogers. Is his name? I had no idea. After all this time.
Well, there were. I thought there were some good things about this. Like I thought that it was very meta. Where they're making fun of themselves. Where they're saying the beekeeper thing, and Velma. Is it Velma or Thelma?
Velma.
Okay, Velma says like, oh, I couldn't have seen that coming, or all that stuff. It was very meta, and he's like, wait, what did that guy say? The usual when he was saying, I would have gotten away with it if it weren't for you meddling kids, right? It's all very meta. I mean, it didn't make me laugh out loud, but I was like, okay, that's cute, that's clever for adults who remember it, and even kids might get that. So I thought that was cool. I also thought it was great that it's got a good formula in that they can get guest stars like Chris Paul. Chris Paul does not need the money. He is very rich. He's the head of the NBA Players Union too. I don't know if he still is, but I think he is still. So Players Union. So and they make millions upon millions upon millions every year, but they bring him in. Why does he want to do it? Maybe because he's a fan of the show. Maybe because they paint him in a good light. He's doing nice things for kids, art school, charity kind of things. I'm like, that's so cool, because usually when people and shows do that, they beat you over the head with it. They're trying to teach you lessons, and they're trying to say, all right, kids, remember to, no, they just made a couple jokes about it. It was subtle, it was fun, but they paint them in a very good light, and they show, look, your kids, your heroes are doing good things. You should do good things too. I thought that was great. I actually really liked that, and I think it's a good formula to get the Guess Who to be every episode somebody new, which I'm sure was their strategy. Thought it was good.
Desmond, my recollection was that in the original Scooby-Doo, Scooby didn't talk as clearly as he did when he was doing the announcing thing.
Yeah, it was like, ooh, Scooby-Doo. Yeah,
like, you could make out what he was saying, but kind of barely. Whereas when he was doing the announcing, like, whoa, this is a new take on Scooby-Doo.
That's right. He didn't usually actually talk, like say sentences. He would say like ruh-roh or like right.
As opposed to the swamp monster's coming after me right now. Like, okay, that's very laid out there.
They did an interview with Chris Paul. They asked him like why he did the show, and he said it's because of the way that you love me.
I thought you were going to say opposites attract. I thought for sure they were going to say, but this is so different for you. But very good. All right, we'll take it. All right, that's a good one. I'm almost out of Paula songs already, and I know you've got like 15 more in your back pocket to throw out. Okay, Muhammad, were there things you did not like about this show?
Mostly like the stuff with the squirrel and things like that. I was just like, what is like, come on. Like let's continue the main plot here. There's a lot of things that just seemed to kind of puzzle me, which maybe also were probably true for the original show too, so it's probably not fair to hold this one to a higher bar. But it was pretty clear they all realized this was not actually a monster. Yet it was kind of like just like all grab him when he comes. Just run up and grab him. What's he gonna do? If 5 of you do it, like he's not gonna get away. So
right. Plus, that's a pretty cumbersome suit. It's not like he could fight very well, right?
Yeah. And then when they went down into that little lake right there, I was like, that looks gigantic. What is
it's like a whole aqua world
with tunnels.
Yeah.
It seemed way over the top.
Really good.
Yeah, that seemed very. There were a lot of things which were like, what? That doesn't really make sense. But I guess whatever, just a random show. So those are some things that kind of pulled me out even more. So, but I did. I mean, in terms of things I liked, definitely the self-deprecating humor on it of making fun of the original. I thought that was the best part of the show, was that. And again, the staying true to the formula. It's okay.
Mm-hmm. Right. Yeah, Desmond, did you hate something?
I didn't really not hate anything really. I think I noticed that it seemed like they didn't utilize Daphne as much in the show.
I noticed that too.
Even though she would be forever your girl, especially.
I knew this was one that was gonna juice up.
No, but I didn't really see her that much in the episode. But I think maybe they'll do it like in another episode. That was just like the first episode though.
So you think the next one will be better? Like it's a promise of a new day, and then the next episode will be more Daphne. That's the promise of a new day. Mohammed's like, I hope these are Paul Abdul songs. Otherwise, I have no idea what these guys are talking about.
I'm assuming they were. I know some, but I don't know that one.
But I noticed that as well about Daphne. At one point, I was like, wait a minute. Has Daphne even had a line in this episode? Yeah. And right when I thought that, like, she got her first line. She was standing at a well with Velma, and she said something like, weird, I see a well or something dumb like that, but whatever. I think
It was a
kids
little
used to,
underutilized in the original too. I mean, that's not atypical.
right. I
Yeah.
thought I remember the original being just about Scooby-Doo and Shaggy, and the other three were just
Shaggy,
kind of
yeah.
like
Yeah.
looking for
Fred's kind of the
something.
leader, so he gets a little bit, and every now and then Velma goes in with Shaggy and Scooby. So Daphne's something like the least used.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Interesting. I thought it would be cool though if they like didn't focus on Scooby and Shaggy, because I always kind of didn't care about them. I always kind of wanted to see more of the other guys. I don't know, but maybe I'm in the minority there. But if Scooby never talked, it was weird that the show was named after him, right? Or was he really
I
the
mean, he
main
did.
character in the
Well,
show?
He kind of talked. He'd
He
say
would
like,
solve.
"Scooby Watch."
Yeah, Scooby Snack. Yeah, Scooby Doo.
But was he the main character? Was he used
Didn't
the
he like
most,
solve
kind
the
of?
crimes? I think he would kind of like solve the. Yeah, it'd be like kind of a.
Well, solve like Inspector Gadget solve, not like
Yeah,
solve
yeah, like
solve.
yeah,
Like it bumble into finding it. You crash
exactly.
into the guy who is the bad guy, and that knocks the bad guy over, and then everybody else jumps him. That kind of thing.
Right.
WTF, everybody. Inspector Gadget.
Oh, please don't.
Ooh, now we got to everybody. WTF, Inspector Gadget. We already know how Muhammad feels about Inspector Gadget.
I used to like before the commercial, he would say, Inspector Gadget may return after these messages, because he's always trying to get Inspector Gadget, The Claw,
Yeah.
was it the Dr. Claw or something like that? Or
Dr. Claw.
Dr. Evil or Dr.
Yeah.
Claw, yeah.
And
It
there
was
was
Claw. The Claw.
Penny.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
Penny.
she had a
yeah.
dog too, right?
Dr. Claw had a
Yeah.
cat too, remember?
Yeah.
She had a cat too?
No,
Dr. Claw
Oh,
did.
Dr.
Dude,
Yeah,
pet
Dr.
it.
Claw, yeah.
Anyway,
Yeah.
I guess we just did review it. You got out
There
of
you
this
go.
one, Dr. Nor. You got out of it.
We're good.
Well, speaking of getting out of things, Desmond Heck, let's talk about you for a moment, shall we?
Oh, no.
You're an actor. You're a jive turkey, as previously mentioned. You're also a
Yeah.
producer, director. You do short films. You audition all the time. You got scripts. What the heck have you been working on lately?
What the heck are you? Let's see. I'm just working on my next picture, my next indie film. I'm working on that right now. I was on 4 episodes of General Hospital this season. It's on Hulu. If you watch Hulu, I'm on 4 episodes.
Cool.
That's about it right now.
That's a big one. How long has that show been going?
Right, like over 20 years. It's been on. Yeah, it's one of the longest running.
I think longer than that. I think more than like 40 years.
Yeah,
right?
yeah, probably. Yeah.
Tell us
I
about
think it's
General
like one of the few
Hospital.
left on.
What were you doing on those episodes?
Yeah. Okay, so I'm one of the FBI agents who questions all the all the characters when they do something wrong. So I'm like one of the FBI's who's interrogating them or bringing them in for questioning. Yeah, it's like they don't really give us the entire script because they try to keep it all hush hush so we don't leak it or anything. So they just tell me, they give me my lines for that day. They're like, oh, this is what you're going to be saying in this episode. So I didn't really know exactly what the full story was happening, but yeah, I just knew what the questions were.
I just looked it up. It started in 1963.
Whoa, 61 years.
Wow.
A long time going.
It's a long
61
time.
Seasons.
Wow. Yeah, no,
That's
it's one of the
amazing.
few left. I think there's only a few soap operas still on. Yeah.
Yeah, they've been dying out for quite some time. Desmond, had you worked on General Hospital before that? Because I know sometimes they can recycle actors. The one that would always recycle me was Days of Our Lives.
Oh, Days of Our Lives.
And I think I did, Young and the Restless, coupled, but General Hospital, I was a fireman, and I never got to.
Nice.
After that, I got to wrestle with one of the main guys and do those fires. I don't know, but sometimes they reuse these people. And have you ever? Were you like a character, say, like a few years ago, and then you get to be a character again later?
No, but they had brought me in for 2 episodes, and then they brought me back in for another episode and another episode. But that was just within the past, just this season though. So it wasn't long. Yeah, I haven't been on a soap opera Before I've been on something. No, yeah. I used to watch them as a kid though all the time. I used to watch was it Days of Our Lives and All My Children and does anybody remember like
Obviously, watch all my
Sarah
children.
Michelle Gellar was on All My Children?
No
She was like
way.
Kendall. Yeah, she's like this like mean. She's this mean girl is causing all kinds of trouble. This was before Cruel Intentions. Right before Cruel Intentions. I was like, oh, that's a girl from All My Children on Cruel Intentions. I thought that was so cool. I'm old, everybody. Like,
I see the Scream 2 poster in your background. So it seems like you got some
oh
pretty good
yeah,
90s knowledge, 90s movie
yeah,
knowledge.
man. Yeah, yeah. They're bringing Nev Campbell back on the new one.
She's cool.
Yeah.
I remember thinking she was very pretty back then.
Oh yeah,
From
straight
Party
up.
of Five.
Straight up. All
Her
right.
soup is good too.
Mm.
Campbell's soup. Yeah, it's like gone on.
So anyway, no, we gotta ask Desmond here a little bit more, if possible. Yeah, you're like, we gotta Desmond, but are you working on any new scripts or any nuggets of things that you'd like to do in the future? Because you've done a lot of things in which you're the writer, producer, director. Sometimes you even act in your things.
Yeah.
Sometimes you just make a movie by yourself, basically. It's amazing.
Yeah.
Got anything
Thanks.
you're working on?
Yeah, I'm working on one now, but I'm just saving up to shoot it because I like fund my own films. So I used to film them on layaway, so I'd film like one day out of the month over a period of 4 years, but I'm not doing that ever again. So I'm just saving up to shoot it all at one time. Yeah, but I mean that's it. Try to do like one at a time though.
Mm-hmm. Interesting. Okay.
Yeah.
Interesting. Well, Desmond, can you tell everybody where they can find you? But before you do that, tell everybody where they can find your finished projects online.
Oh, okay. Yeah, like my last horror film, it's called Spider. It's on Tubi. Where you saw Scooby-Doo, if you watched it.
No way.
Just,
Perfect.
Yeah, just type Spider or you can type Desmond Heck and it pulls up. I think it pulls up, yeah. I'm on Twitter and Instagram, Desmond Heck, just my name, if you want to follow me. Yeah. And be sure to watch
No
Judge Judy.
No D in Desmond.
Oh, yeah, no D at the end, yeah.
Yeah. Just Desmond.
Desmond.
Here it is right here. Wow, look at that. Let me pull
Spider?
this up. Yeah.
Oh,
Check it out, everybody. Go
show.
to Tubi and type in Spider and Desmond Heck, and it's right here. And you can just push play, and there it is.
Hour and a half long.
Yeah, it's free to watch, everyone.
Mm-hmm. Cool.
Nicely done.
Boondock Jock.
Nice.
All right.
Now we have the bottom line.
Let's do it. So it's the final two questions of the show. So, of course, naturally, it's called The Terrible Twos. Desmond, that's Chuck Woolery.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
If you were to have the final two questions of the show and somebody said, let's call it the bottom line, and somebody else said, no, let's call it the terrible twos, what would you say?
I'd say the terrible two sounds a little bit funner than the bottom line. So I would say let's call it the terrible twos.
Yeah.
Oh, did you win the bet?
All right.
I'm sorry, Mom.
That's okay.
That's why Muhammad and we get along so well. We have completely different ideas, but opposites attract, right?
There it is.
That's another Paula song, Dr. Noor. Now I'm for sure that's all I've got for Paula songs that I can think of.
No more?
Oh no, there's Vibology, but I don't know.
Vibology, yeah.
That's a hard one to slip in conversation there.
Yeah, that's a toughie.
Dance like there's no tomorrow, but I don't know how we incorporate that.
See, if you had picked my choice, you could dance like there's no tomorrow.
Perfect. All right. So question number one, everybody. This is where we get serious. No more giggling. No more happy faces. No more chumminess. Question number one is, Dr. Muhammad Noor, on a scale of 1 to 10, what would you give this first episode of Scooby-Doo and Guess Who, entitled, forgot to tell the title, Revenge of the Swamp Monster? Oh, by the way, Dr. Noor, you're a professor at Duke University. Scooby-Doo and Guess Who. Should that have a question mark at the end? Guess Who? Because Guess Who is a statement, not a
It's
question,
true. It is
right?
a command rather than a question.
Guess who?
Yeah.
Right. And then Revenge of the Swamp Monster has the exclamation point. I'm like, maybe these guys just really like punctuation. I don't know.
There you go.
There you
Anyway.
They want things over the period. So in terms of this show, though, see, I'm kind of at a loss because I get like, for if I was back being 5 years old again, I'd probably think like, this is great. Yep, keep watching it. I'm not 5 years old though, so I can't quite give that review. So I mean, with the number I wrote down, I'll just stick with it here, is a 5.2. That, for what
A
it was, it was
5.2?
yeah. For what it was, it
Okay.
was fine. It's not something that's drawing me in that sense, which we'll come back to that in just a second. It's not something that's drawing me out. I'm just like, it was okay. I didn't, I watched it and then I was like, done.
Interesting.
And if it had been longer, I would have been unhappy. If it had been like an hour long, I'd be like, okay, come on. Please.
Can I ask a follow-up question, Dr. Noor? Because I was thinking
Please.
about this earlier and forgot to ask it earlier. You liked the show as a kid. So as a kid, if does this meet that same level of quality to where, I mean, you kind of touched on it to where if you're a 5-year-old kid, so does that mean that if you watch the original now, you would think it was bad? But then I'm thinking, well, if you think it would be good as a kid, then does that make it a good show? Because it's like mission accomplished.
Yeah, so this is the thing. I'm reviewing it as present day over 50 Muhammad, not as 1970s under 10 Muhammad. So, yeah, I mean, odds are, I don't remember the first episode of Scooby-Doo was. Odds are, if I watched the first episode of that, I'd probably still also give it a comparable score.
Understood. All right, Desmond Heck. Dr. Noor is really tough on shows. But what do you say? Scale of 1 to 10?
Oh, 9. I liked it. Yeah, because I like how
Wow.
it stuck to the original one. Yeah, it was fun. I was not bored anytime watching the show. I got some good laughs out of it, and yeah, it was. Yeah, I thought it was enjoyable. Yeah, I mean, I liked it. I liked all the characters. I was a fan of the characters. I was a big fan of Shaggy when I was a little kid, so it was cool that they used him most in the episode. And even though I had no idea his last name was Rogers, but
Yeah.
I learned something. Like,
did you know he was a superstar caddy?
I did not know that either. Yeah. Oh, and apparently he's vegan. Did he eat a hot dog in that episode when they had the hot dogs? Because apparently Shaggy's vegan.
Oh, I
He
didn't
was,
know that.
he was
Or
at
he's
least craving
vegetarian.
the hot dogs. I don't know if he actually ate them. He
Okay.
definitely was craving them.
Yeah,
Mm.
those munchies, man. He's got the. I like how in the old they always hint at things in the old ones, like about Shaggy and Velma, and yeah. But
Did the pizza have pepperoni, the one that Chris Paul saved his life with?
did it?
It looked like peppers too, green peppers. Although
Yeah.
Velma doesn't look like she touched a doobie in her life. Not even cleaning. If she was like cleaning something, she would use a glove. Anyway, well, I'll tell you guys, scale of 1 to 10 for me, I kind of went in the opposite direction as Dr. Noor in that I started off really low, where I was like, what's this squirrel stuff? This is dumb. I don't like this show. And then, it was meta, which I thought was fine. I thought it was very charming that they kept the exact same animation and animation style. So it bumped me up to a 4.3. I know it sounds terrible, but considering where it came from, that's actually really good. I would almost recommend this show to people. I'd be like, if you liked Scooby-Doo, yeah, definitely watch the second. I like that they bring on celebrities and paint them in a good light and have a good message for kids without, beating them over the head, because kids don't need to be beat over the head with stuff. They get it, except for the slow ones, but that's okay. So anyway, yeah, 4.3, but an enthusiastic 4.3, where I'm like, wow, you did it, you guys. You did it. Now, question number 2 is, for the purposes of this podcast, we all had to watch the first episode of Scooby-Doo and Guess Who, entitled what was it? Revenge of the Swamp Monster. But now that the podcast is over and we're free to move about the internet, Dr. Muhammad Noor, would you, of your own volition, watch the second episode of Scooby-Doo Guess Who, entitled, wait, no, just that one.
It's one of those, it depends. I mean, the short answer will be no, but the longer answer will be, it depends. If, let's say, for example, I was with a young version of me, let's say like a kid or a friend's kid or something like that.
Could happen.
And it was on TV, sure. I did not feel harmed by it. I'll probably chuckle periodically. It'll be okay. But I'm imagining, like, let's say this coming Wednesday, after I finished watching Watch the First, if I wanted to watch a TV show, and like click on the TV and Tubi's on there, and like, let's see what's on Tubi, like, and Scooby-Doo and Guess Who, I'm almost totally gonna be like, next show.
What? Even under those circumstances,
the next episode of that.
Even if it just pops up on your screen and all you have to do is just click play, you wouldn't even watch it while you're brushing your teeth or cleaning up the newspapers.
No, again, as it says, like, as you said, for the purpose of this podcast, we all had to watch this episode. But now that the podcast is over, we're free to move about the internet. There's a lot better choices out there for me.
So hurtful. But
actually, I would go back with what Ryan said, to do one tweak on what you said, because you said something like, I would recommend a show to anybody who likes Scooby-Doo. I would just get rid of the past tense on it. I would just say, for anybody who likes Scooby-Doo, because you may have liked it back when you were 5 like me, but now you're like, I'm kind of done with that.
Well, that's even harsher. What about you, Desmond? Would you, of your own volition, watch the second episode?
Yeah, I mean, it's like, it'd be one of those ones, if I'm like looking for something animated to watch and it's late at night, I'm just like, let me throw something on. Yeah, I'd watch it again. I'm a little all over the place. I usually watch Judge Judy reruns for some weird reason, because I like Judge Judy.
There she is.
Oh, is it autographed?
But if I wasn't going to watch a cartoon, I would definitely watch it.
Can you hold up
just because I like the original one? Can
you hold up that picture one more time?
Judge Judith Shineland, everyone.
Oh, is it autographed?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, someone gave it to me. It's a gift.
Wow.
Yeah.
Nice. All right, cool.
Yeah, I mean, I liked it. Yeah, because I was a fan of the original one, so it'd be like watching DuckTales or like He-Man. I like watching He-Man or some of the good old school ones I used to watch all the time.
So this is a yes.
Yeah.
An official yes. Nailed it. All right. I don't even have to type that into our spreadsheet because I already did. I had a feeling. For me, though, however, heretofore, it's a no from me, Paula. It's a no from me. Come on, like anybody surprised, whatever. They overachieved, in my opinion, but it was a hard sell for me. But that's it. I'm fine with it. I'm not mad. I watched it. I'm actually glad I watched it. I'm actually, I feel like it removed my veil of hate for Scooby-Doo a little bit. It made it like where I'm like, well, it's okay. But that's it for us, everybody. Yes, go ahead.
I was saying it'd be cool if they bring in like politicians, like Scooby-Doo and the Gang with Dianne Feinstein.
Isn't she dead?
No, is she? I don't think so.
Oh, she did pass away, yeah.
Did she? Oh, never mind.
Yeah, she did. Yeah.
She either died or retired. There was something happened. I think
she retired. I didn't know she died, but maybe.
Yeah, she did.
Okay.
Well.
But
this happened but this was shot in 2021, Muhammad. So she might still be in it. You're right.
Maybe. That'd be a surprise.
Anyway, everybody, if you'd like us to review a show fairly and honestly and objectively and also subjectively, let us know in the comments below by typing WTF, the show, and where we can find it. Please, in the comments below. In the live chat, it goes away forever, but in the comments, it's there forever. So you would type, for example, you would have said WTF, Scooby-Doo, and Guess Who on Tubi. Remember, this is cartoon spin-off month, but next month, let's check what next month is.
Long drama.
It's new. It's new shows, right, Dr. Noor?
Long drama. We're never going to have a long drama month.
There are some new long dramas, so that's possible. So any new shows for the month of April, make your suggestions for new shows. Anything that's new and fresh and coming out and taking the world by storm or getting beaten to death. We'll beat a show to death. We love it. And that's it. Thanks very much, everybody. Remember to like this video, subscribe to the channel, and all that good stuff. We really appreciate it. What I'm trying to say is this podcast was straight up. Yeah, that's not that great.
This podcast was tastier than Scooby snacks.
Also, I was gonna. This podcast was a Scooby snack.
Oh,
Okay.
there's a song with Scooby snacks in it. Who was it that sang that? I think, who was it? Smash Mouth, maybe?
Oh, did it all for the nookie so you could take the cookie?
No,
Oh, no,
that's
it's-
Linkin Park.
Oh no, it's not Linkin Park. It's Fred Durst.
Sorry, not Linkin. Yeah. What's Limp Bizkit? Limp Bizkit. Right.
Limp Bizkit. There you
Hang on.
Maybe that's what Scooby snacks are. Limp biscuits.
go. Oh yeah.
Fun Lovin' Criminals. Fun Lovin' Criminals is who sings the Scooby Snacks song. Fun Lovin' Criminals. Never heard of them. That's
Sing the
it.
song, Scooby Dooby Doo, where are you?
Where are you? We
We
need
got
some
work to do. That face on fire.
And then and Scooby in the background go ooh, ooh, ooh.
Yeah.
Make all the sounds in the background of the song.
Do you think they'll add Scrappy Doo to this trash show?
Shut.
All right. Anyway,
This trash show.
we
Go
got to
from
run,
5.2
everybody.
to
This is
3.2 very quickly.
too much fun. Please, everybody, remember what Mr. Michael Kenyon Rosenberg always likes to say.
Don't forget to be an organ donor, and don't forget to watch the first of things.
All right, everybody. Freeze frame like Daphne. I don't really know if that's what she looks like.
Sit around for a while and force that chicken smile and breathe.